Whether we like it or not, the backlog for gamers is a never-ending battle. Some games may only be on the backlog for a few months, others for years, and the more new games release, the more games inevitably make their way to someone's backlog. Now with the content I create, I go back and revisit games I've already played and see how they hold up today. So my backlog has slowly grown and grown over time, and I've had enough. Hence the creation of this new series, So I Finally Played. A way to somewhat thin out my backlog, or at the very least, play the games I've always wanted to play, but for whatever reason just didn't. And the first episode needed to be about a game that I truly needed to play. And now here we are. Welcome to So I Finally Played Hotline Miami. Let me get my first impressions with the game out of the way. I actually wasn't too sure about the game once I booted it up. The controls in the tutorial felt a little off to me, and once we got our first bit of story, this horrible noise started playing. I honestly wasn't sure Hotline Miami was going to be my type of game, even though I'd always heard so much praise about the title. It didn't take me long to understand why this game is so beloved though. Hotline Miami takes place in 1989, where we take control of an unnamed man. We begin each chapter having a new message on our answering machine, with seemingly innocent problems needing his expertise and help to take care of. There is so much to love about Hotline Miami, but the gameplay is what will hook you in, because each chapter can be beaten in a minute or two. At least that's what the end of chapter evaluation will tell you. Hotline Miami is very arcade based. The game is about trial and error, learning what works and what doesn't, what action will cause another enemy's reaction, what weapons work best on certain enemies, what mask will best suit the situation, and knowing one hit is all it takes to make you start the level again. And it is exhilarating because going through each chapter and floor layout, you learn more and more and simultaneously get better and better. You can only carry one weapon at a time, and these will either be melee or firearms. Melee weapons are silent, and unless another enemy sees you, you can silently take out enemies one by one. The firearms, bar one, are loud and will attract sometimes the whole floor to come bearing down on you, and they do not carry a lot of ammo, so mixing up your weapons is vital, especially towards the end game. When you finish a floor that you've replayed over and over, falling short to an enemy you didn't see, or just taking on too many to handle, to go on that flawless run of destruction makes for a truly satisfying gameplay loop that is only further helped by the game's incredible soundtrack. It's super 80s, and whilst it may not always suit the intensity or lack thereof in a situation, when you do start taking out enemies left and right, it only further emphasizes the point. The boss fights in this game are so intense because of the soundtrack and difficulty blending so well together. And it is one of the few soundtracks in gaming I could listen to outside of the game. It is stellar. As you go through all of this chaos, to my surprise, there is actually a really intriguing plot happening behind the scenes that poses so many questions from the get-go. Who is calling and leaving these messages? Why are we taking out the Russian mob? Who are these people in masks we are talking to? Is any of this real? And this is where at least my brain started coming up with theories throughout the game as to where I thought the game might be going, but didn't. Such as, none of this is real. Partly true. We're not even killing Russians, we are slaying innocent people or police, and the people in masks are just the character suffering from mental health problems. I wasn't correct, but the premise and story is so interesting that it continuously makes you wonder, what if? And even though the story didn't end up being as grand as I pictured, it was still enthralling to put the pieces of this puzzle together. Hotline Miami is one of those games you finally play and just think to yourself, why didn't I pick this up sooner? Whilst my first impressions of the game made me think this game wasn't going to be for me, I'm so glad I continued playing because Hotline Miami was incredible even 8 years later. The story is captivating and is a big reason I played this game from start to finish over the course of a day. The trial and error gameplay isn't too punishing because each scenario is so short and replayable by its very nature. The weapon variety, enemy variety, numerous amounts of ways to approach any given floor, the boss fights and that strive to get the best possible score, all with the added adrenaline the soundtrack brings to each situation. And it makes for a game that is intriguing, challenging, and fun. The game shouldn't take you more than 3 or 4 hours to get through, but even after it was all said and done and I saw those credits, all I wanted to do was jump back in and tighten up some of those lackluster scores. The art style also makes the game feel like it could have released just this year. It doesn't feel dated at all. If, like myself, you were late to the party for Hotline Miami, I strongly recommend picking the game up and giving it a go, because for me, it is one of those games I'm kicking myself that I didn't play earlier. As for Hotline Miami 2, Australia sucks, so I'll see what I can do to get my hands on the sequel, but for now, this has been So I Finally Played Hotline Miami.